one church bell ringer, the younger church bell ringer. You're new around here. Let me show you the ropes.
I don't know what it is with locales, but they just hit comedy at an excellent point. You know, there's plenty of people out there that would say saturated. Why do you even bother trying to make jokes? The locales make jokes themselves. You don't need to interject your own stupid little quips in there. We don't need that. We need Josh telling us church bell rope jokes. So essentially, in the new year, Josh has been forgetting about Puff. I mean, Puff hasn't been mentioned in a long time. Instead, he's just been making foods. He just released this weird stand-up comedy special, which we'll look at some of the better jokes. But in this video, we're gonna encompass the foods, the Mead update, and some of the jokes. I think it's a pretty good mixture of items to discuss with Josh. Ever since he got back from the interview with his dad, I just can't help but hear all of the shortfalls that he's doing and just thinking of Clint in the back of my head. Like, yeah, this guy just endorses this degenerate, regarded behavior. And I guess I kind of appreciate it.
A Pretzel Baconator from Wendy's with just mayonnaise, meats, bacon, and cheese on it. It already comes with American cheese. So I had them add one more slice of American cheese plus 3 slices of their Asiago cheese. And we're going to food hack this Baconator for your sick entertainment. Oh, they delivered on that promise. Look at that sexiness. Oh, let's unwrap the goods. Oh, that cheese, that bacon, and that mayonnaise. Like a gluttonous son of a bitch. We put 4 on there. A salted caramel chocolate Baconator with pretzel bun action. This is so fucking good, YouTube, you have no idea.
So we all know that Josh just feels a compulsion to constantly intertwine savory and sweet into his food concoctions. And this one is just as confusing as all the others. It's not as gross per se. The nachos he makes later are pretty normal. The ramen, which I won't really cover here, is pretty gross. If you haven't seen the ramen video, it's country crock ramen. Literally every condiment inside of his fridge just mixed together with cheese. It's gross. He crushes crackers in it for some reason. It's revolting. But I thought I would help alleviate some of that heartburn you would probably have from watching a video like that and do something a little bit more tame. Now, I've got a controversial opinion, all right? And I know there's going to be some bacon enthusiasts out there that are just slamming the table, smashing the dislike button, sending me hate mail. But here's the thing. I really don't like bacon when you put it on something. I really don't. I feel like whenever you put it on like a burger or a sandwich, part of the problem with bacon is it's like kind of slippery, right? You bite it and you're gonna pull out way more bacon than you were expecting. So it doesn't like evenly coat the sandwich or burger that you're having. It's a gripe that I have, and I also think it kind of overpowers the flavor a little bit. I prefer it on the side when you can just pick it up with your fingies, your dirty little poop wiping fingies, and just take a nice little bite out of it. That's when I'm a-okay. I'm like, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. But obviously, how are you gonna taste it when you put 4 giant squares of caramel salted chocolate on top? It's not gonna work, Josh. It's just not gonna work. And I'm also, another controversial opinion, not that crazy about caramel. Not that crazy. I think it's more of a nuisance when you eat it because it comes out in like a long strand. When you bite it, sometimes it breaks off, gets on your shirt. Now your shirt's all fucked up and you're pissed because you're like, caramel doesn't even taste that great. What the hell? So I don't know. I'm making it controversial from the beginning. That's what the fans need. They need to know what saturated content's food preferences are while watching a Josh Saunders food hack. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. God, I'm dumb.
Here's an update on that apple, honey, cinnamon, sugar, caramel mead. Last time I made this, After 4 days, this is what it'll look like. Caramel is dissolving nicely. On Luther King Jr. Day, I'm gonna filter out the liquid into this clean jar over here. Because when you put raw fruit in your honey or mead, you wanna strain it out of your liquid 12 days after you jar it. It's Monday. Get out there and make it happen. And keep making wines. And all these wine snobs are like, there's a couple of us winemakers out there that'll welcome you to the community with open arms.
I don't know why he keeps calling it wine now. I thought this was mead. I know mead is kind of like a variation of alcohol, and I don't know. I don't know where I would put it on the spectrum necessarily with like beer and wine and liquor and whatever else. Either way, I feel like it's its own kind of category. You could have looked at that jar on the shelf, and if you cropped out the top and bottom, I would have thought it was a jar of peanut butter up there. And he claims he's not going to drink any of it when he filters it, which obviously is not going to happen. This man can't control himself. I guess this one's kind of fortunate because it doesn't have it's not like a juice bottle that has an easy lid that you can just drink right out of. So, he might be splashing himself with some of the liquid coming out of there. But hey, teach their own. George can have his own excitement in creating weird, moldy, infested alcohol to drink. Whatever, he's immune. He's like some sort of radioactive mutant from Fallout. So I won't really question it too far, but I would have thought that the appeal of mead would be dying down a little bit. But hey, he somehow found a way to turn his $10 12-pack of beer into a $30 extravagance of adding fruits and candies and sugar and chocolates into it. So you do you, Josh. You do you.
Now you see that, YouTube? That is a proper plate of nachos. Nachos need to have layers. Get a layer of chips on there, and you add some cheese. And you add another layer of chips, and you add more cheese. See where that gets us? When you're making nachos, and they put all the stuff on top, but there's nothing on the bottom, it kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So layer your nachos. Chips, cheese, chips, cheese.
I like that Josh takes everything so literally. There was like a couple months ago, some troll sent a donation or a message that asked Josh to explain how to make nachos. And his interpretation is that somehow nachos are the hardest culinary feat to accomplish for anybody making. And so he needs to be very thorough in explaining, guys, it can't just be an entire bag of chips and then some cheese on top. You're not going to spread it out evenly. Even though he kind of messes it up a little bit, he adds way too much of everything into each layer. It's just going to turn into a goop mess, but that's what we expect from Josh at this point. And since I've already been harping on my criticisms of different foods out there, I thought I would interject and say nachos are a very, I don't know if overrated is the right word, but to me they're overrated. I think they're a bad appetizer the majority of the time. If you go to like an authentic Mexican restaurant that hand makes like tortilla chips and cheese, you can get a good one, but typically you can tell when nachos are going to be good when they're at most like 2 layers thick. At most. You add some jalapenos on top, you get some salsa on the side. Ooh, now we're talking. But making it at home, 99% of the time, you're just making a sloppy mess. And sometimes people like that, but I'm not down to clown with soggy chips, all right? That's not what I'm wanting. That's not what I'm looking for, all right? I'd rather have mozzarella sticks. I'd rather have, I don't know, a lot of different appetizer type foods that are cheesy than that. I'm off my soapbox, all right? Leave me alone.
But Cobra, how do we know when the nachos are done? Trust me, you'll know. That cheese will have melted into an ooey gooey mess on top of your fucking chips. If you're gonna pull a chip up from your plate of nachos and you get massive cheese pull on that bitch, that's how you know they're done. Oh yeah, those are done. Oh. It's melted on top. It's gooey, ooey, please me, tease me, squeeze me. Hot.
Whenever Josh eats things that are like semi-hard, semi-rigid, it sounds like it's like a gravel compactor just sort of swirling rocks around inside of its tube. That's the noise that Josh's mouth makes whenever he starts to eat anything. And now we have a second issue that arises with his nachos. You can't be cooking them on a paper plate, dog. You can't be cooking them on a paper plate, let alone cooking them on those like really super cheap paper plates. Like maybe if you get, I don't know, what is it, Bounty or whoever makes the hefty plates, whatever the hell they are, that have some rigidity to them. These are just gonna collapse in on themselves. You're also probably gonna be like consuming like half paper into your bites because the cheese is just ripping out the the paper down below. I don't know. I mean, Josh would never clean his dishes. He never put them in the dishwasher if he has one. So it's not a surprise, but you can't be microwaving stuff. You know, paper plates I think are perfect for sandwiches, stuff you don't have to microwave. You know, and that's just my opinion.
I thought I told these trolls to suck my fucking butt crack. I told them to lick my ass crack. Oh yeah, little squeezer, squeeze out that wet and juicy, you fucks.
You think Clint's sitting at home just laughing hysterically? Oh, Josh! Oh, you're owning the trolls, dude. You haven't been outside in 5 days and you haven't brushed your teeth in a month, but you're fucking killing them, man. You're destroying those trolls. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. You're really owning them by putting up a 10-second clip of you farting on camera in your pajama pants with skulls on them that haven't been washed in 2 years. That's epic. That's really epic. Big ups to you, Clint. You're such a genius. You're so smart.
What's the deal with decorative towels? Have you seen these things? Man, if you're a man and you have decorative towels in your bathroom, you're either gay or you're married to a woman. Imagine the board meeting for that design. It's like, we need a product that's completely useless, but it makes people feel fancy. Ideas, Johnson, shoot. What's our demographic audience? Gay couples and married men. I got it. Decorative towels. Decorative towels. Like, what's next? The decorative bathroom? Like, we don't even use that bathroom. It's just for decoration. Well, where do you go to shit? We shit out by the creek. Decorative towels. Kiss my ass.
So Joshua never understand this concept. I semi understand it, right? Because decorative towels, it's like it should be a towel that I can dry stuff off on or I can wipe stuff up with, but no, you can't use that because it'll ruin the towel. I understand it from that perspective. It's like, well, what's the point? But when you actually start living with a woman or have lived with a woman, or I don't know, during college I spent some time at home. It's kind of nice to have that shit. I won't lie. It's like having flowers or plants inside of your apartment. It sort of just like makes a regularly dreary space kind of good. Now, I understand it from a financial point of view. I don't want to fucking go to Marshall's or Home Goods or whatever else and spend $10 on a fucking dish rag that looks like Cyrax's face, all right? That's not what I want to do, but if somebody else is taking care of that, that's kind of cool. That's kind of nice. It's the same with like buying flowers, stuff like that, plants. I mean, those things really cheer you up. They give a good smell to your space, but I don't know how to buy plants to save my fucking life. I don't know. I can't figure that out, dude. I'm trying to make my dwelling more pleasant to the eye, and I think those things help. But I don't know. George will never figure that out. He could get what's her name, the naked person to show up, and they could go buy decorative towels together, and that'd be really cute. But he's got some more bangers up his sleeves, guys. Don't worry.
Be from Wyoming if you like to drink beer and watch monster trucks. And I'd pay to see that. Little people driving big ass monster trucks. You cannot tell me that wouldn't be fucking awesome. Live at the Casper Event Center, it's Midget Monster Truck Madness. Watch little people drive big ass trucks. Tickets on sale now. You can't tell me that wouldn't be fucking awesome.
Now, if you've never been to a monster truck rally, you are missing out. it's perceived as a white trash activity, and it's not too far off, all right? But it's so much better than like a white trash activity like watching NASCAR, all right? Because you get to see Gravedigger up and close doing flips and shit, launching all the way across an arena. Oh, it's fucking dope. Or if you see like a demolition derby, that stuff is fucking sick. So, for once, it's not a Wyoming thing. You can find this stuff anywhere. So, if you can stumble upon one of these events, I highly recommend it, all right? Don't let this diminish your view of me, all right? I'm still a very classy, very upscale type of person. My number one content is watching degenerates online just degrade in front of me. And every once in a while, I go and see a monster truck rally.
Here's free beer for a year. Cowboy comes back a year later, sees the sign up. Free beer for a year. Cowboy goes in there. Bartender says, if you can get my horse to stop laughing, I'll give you free beer for a year. Okay. Cowboy goes out back, comes back in, horse is crying their eyes out. Bartender says, how'd you do it? First time, Cowboy says, I told your horse that my dick was bigger. Second time, I proved it.
Do you think that this cowboy had sex with the horse? You think this is some sort of like weird foreplay that Josh has with himself? He probably has like an animatronic horse that he assembled in his bedroom that he goes and plows right after his live streams. I don't know. People are asking questions, Josh. That's all I'm trying to get to. And obviously the joke doesn't make really any sense. Why? So the horse was laughing because the owner's dick was small? Is that the joke? And so this guy shows that his dick's bigger, but wouldn't that just make the horse laugh more at the owner because the owner's dick is smaller than what the horse would think a normal person's dick looks like? I don't know. There's too much cock and ball torture talk going on here, all right? I'm just trying to rationalize it. And with the degrading mind of a vaping, air duster alcoholic's brain trying to concoct jokes, I think I'm losing this battle.
We're going to have to age restrict this video for excessive potty mouth language. And, like, Kobe, you got a potty mouth. Why? Because I talk a lot of shit? Okay. I tell you what, no respect. I know I ain't getting laid. The only one getting a piece of ass around here is my toilet. It gets a piece of ass every time I take a shit. Ridiculous. Pick up lines to get chicks. If you're at a bar, it's like, can I interest you in a stiff cock? And then when she gets offended, be like, hey. I meant to, what I was trying to say is stiff cocktail. A stiff cocktail. Offering to buy you a drink. Where's your mind going? My girlfriend said I'd look sexier with a six-pack, so I got a six-pack of Bush Peach, and I'm like, how about now? Look at these abs. Oh, yeah. Why did the six-pack become an accountant? So they could crunch the numbers. I'm like, what a pain in the ass it is to maintain a six-pack abs. You gotta cut out all the delicious food in life. Bacon, cheeseburgers, and pizza and beer. No, thank you.
So the toilet joke, he over-explains it. The joke is the only time that the toilet gets ass is when I sit on it. Yeah, we get it, Josh. You over-explained it. That's fine. Secondly, the second one is harassment. All right, we can't be walking up to strangers in a bar and asking them if they want stiff cock, and then when there's an awkward silence and they look terrified of you, you say, "No, I meant cocktail." Yeah, good, Josh. Good, Josh. Good joke, Josh. Very, very solid. And at the same time, I think it's important to understand that depending on your body type, it can be extremely difficult to get abs. Yes, you have to cut out basically anything that's delicious in your diet, and then you have a chance to get them. But some body types are just built to be bulky and just like wide set. Not saying fat, just saying wide set, and it makes it harder to get abs. So, I'm not trying to endorse Josh of ever getting abs because that's not a possibility, but I'm just expressing myself here.
This is Fred the Fondler. He's always fondling his dick and balls. But thanks to the Go Fuck Yourself Foundation, he's been cured. And you gotta be careful when you're farting in the shower, especially if the water is all hot and steamy. And you think you're safe. You know, you got the water rushing down your ass, cracking over your butthole, and you just let it loose. And you're like, oh, that felt so much better. And then those fart particles, those little poopy particles in the farts that make your farts smell like poo poo, it fumigates onto the steam and you pretty much gas yourself out. Now you're sitting there with your head outside of the shower like, ah.
This is the happiest Josh has looked during any of his jokes today when he gets to talk about poo-poo and fart particles and him just trapping himself in the shower, which he doesn't take. He doesn't take a shower. It's a good joke. I think the funniest part of the joke is that you just smell like farts all the time because you aren't showering yourself. I think that's the better part. Secondly, I'm not a big enclosed with a door shower type of guy. I just prefer the curtain, easy access. It doesn't feel like you're gonna be locked in there. I know that's just a bizarre situation that you would think yourself would be put into, but hey, let a man dream of something much more terrifying than this reality.
I tell you what, no respect. I know I'm creepy looking. How creepy looking are you? I'm so creepy looking I give the Addams family nightmares. Go fuck yourself. We're going to a wine tasting event. Look how fancy we are. Anyways, YouTube. I gave you an hour of solid stand-up comedy. If you think this shit's funny as fuck, hit the like and subscribe for more.
I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel, not Josh's, for covering this hilarious stand-up comedy routine. I know there were some real knee slappers, but at the end, it felt a little bit more sad. Josh sort of sat there in silence for a little bit, looked at his beer, chugged some of it, sat there in silence some more, and said, yep, I guess this is my life. I guess this is what I'm doing every day. And just has sort of accepted that and has sort of moved on. There's pockets of realization that goes on every once in a while among all the locales, and you just see it and you're like, ooh, that hit a little bit too close to home. I'm sort of picturing you more of like a character inside of a book, not a actual person existing out there. It's sort of shattering the glass in front of me. It's making me a little bit afraid of what I'm going to discover about myself. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this compilation of different Josh content, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.